Welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and I'm doing a no by year. One of the things that I'm doing this year is sort of making a point to revisit items in my collection, sort of refamiliarize myself with the products that I already have. And one of the things that I have a lot of is eyeshadow palettes. So I recently ranked my Pat McGrath Mothership palettes, and this is just sort of going to be a little addendum to that, and I'm just going to go over the other Pat McGrath palettes that I have that are not Mothership palettes. So let's go ahead and just get into it. So one of the first Pat McGrath items I think that I ever purchased was the Mothership Rose Decadence palette. I gotta be honest, I kind of regret purchasing this. I got it, it was on sale when I got it, so I at least didn't pay full price for it, but I never reach for it. I have been contemplating whether or not I want to attempt to depot them. I feel like I could get more use out of them if I added them to my single collection, and I could use them in palettes that I make myself, but together as this 6-pan palette, I never reach for them. I find myself needing to reach for other palettes when I go to use this, so because of that I tend not to reach for it. I think that if I were to depot it, I would get more use out of them individually, but as a 6-pan, I find that I don't necessarily like the looks that I put together with it. So there's that. I also have 2 of the holiday palettes from Pat McGrath. I got this one first, which was the, 2021 holiday palette. The Mothership Mega Celestial Odyssey. Again, I have to be honest, I kind of regret purchasing both of these. This one, I think I paid full price for. Maybe I had a 10% coupon promo code that I used with it. But same with this one. I find myself that when I use this, I am always reaching for something else to complement it. The mattes that are in here, there's only 4 mattes. 2 of them are pink, basically. One of them is quite a warm brown, and then the other one is a darker kind of warm brown. It's maybe a little bit more neutral than the super warm brown. But I don't know, I just find myself not reaching for it because I know that I'm going to have to pull something else out in order to get a look that I like. Some of the metallics I find work as all over lid shades for me, but then a lot of them I'm just never gonna use. This one right here, it's kind of a full out, I don't know, just a lot of glitter. It's a blackened blue glitter. It's chunks of purple, teal, silver glitter in it. I don't know, I'm never gonna use that. This teal shade I'm never gonna use. I don't know, the green I'm probably never gonna use. That really yellow gold I'm never gonna use. So it's just a lot of shades that I'm never gonna use. Again, if this could be easily depotted, I would probably pick a few of the shades to keep and add to my single collection, but other than that, I don't really get a lot of use out of this. And I kind of don't like that there's the little strings that keep it from being able to lay flat. So when I use it, I have to have enough space on my vanity in order for it to sit upright like this, which is just kind of annoying to me. So womp, I kind of regret getting this. And then this other holiday palette, I think it was from 2020. I didn't purchase it then. I purchased it when sometime last year when it was brought back. I had one of the things where like I feel like I was missing out on it, so I thought that I needed to have it, and I got it. And again, I think I've only used it a couple times, like after I first got it. There's only 3 mattes in it, so again, I find myself having to reach for other stuff if I want to use it. And it's very pink and purple leaning, but not the type of purple that looks good on me, like the type of purple that can kind of make me look sickly. I think my all-time, like the only shade that I used probably when I even used it is that one right there, which is kind of reminiscent of the special shade in the Moonlit Seduction one that I tend to use basically with every look that I get. Which, actually, let me compare. Okay, this is the special shade in, let me bump the brightness down. That's the special shade in the Moonlit Seduction, and then that's that metallic in this holiday palette. I find, like, looking at the back of my hand, the tones of them are quite similar, and I think the one from the Moonlit Seduction is just more textured and flaky, basically. But that's kind of interesting that they're so similar, and that's like the only shade really that I gravitate towards in this palette. Honestly, looking at it, none of the other ones kind of even appeal to me at all, except for that one, which is kind of just shows that I probably shouldn't have bought it, and I wasn't missing out on anything by not having it. Okay, the last Pat McGrath palette that I have that is in a mothership is this one right here, the little 5-pan, the Celestial Nirvana eyeshadow palette Bronze Bliss, which looks like that. When this came out, there were 2 of them, and this is the more cool toned one. I basically just got it for these 3 shades. They're all like bronzy shades that tend to look really good with my blue eyes, and this one is like okay for deepening up my outer corner. But basically whenever I'm using this palette, I'm using one of these as like an all over one and done type look. And this one I actually don't regret buying because I use it a lot, and I tend to actually, so my favorite, spoiler if you haven't seen it, my favorite mothership palette is the Moonlit Seduction. So I'll like use one of these shades all over my lid, and then I'll go in with one of the flaky textured shades from the Moonlit Seduction as like a topper, and then I'll just have like super shiny, bright, textured eyes, and I always love the looks that I get with them. And actually, as I said that was my last one, I lied. I actually have 2 quads, so let me go find those. And I'm back. I found the 2 quads. I tend not to reach for them if I kind of forgot that I had them. They're the quads that are in the packaging. It's like the mothership packaging, but they're the quads. So I have these 2 right here. This one is, what's it called? Celestial Nirvana. I don't know what the shade is called. I also don't particularly enjoy that a lot of the packaging themselves don't have the palette's name on them. So some of the motherships that I have, like the ones that I've gotten more recently, they have the name, like they have more than just Mothership 9 or whatever on it. It actually says the name of it, like Utopian Dreams or whatever. But a lot of them that I have don't. So I honestly don't even remember what this is called because the name isn't on it anywhere. And I thought that I would really like these. They are the baked formula, so like what some of the special shades in the motherships are, that's what all of these are, is they're like the baked formula. So this I got because I thought it would be more of like a neutral type thing to wear, and I find that I really like this one as like a super shiny wet look shade, but whenever I wear any, like the bronze, the goldy one, and the red one, they crease like crazy on me. And I know that I have, well, my eyelids are hooded, which is more prone to creasing, and my eyelids get quite oily, so I always use a primer. And even when I use my best primer, which is the NARS smudge proof whatever primer, this one in particular still just like creases like crazy on me, which makes me not want to ever use it. Like, it'll start creasing within like 2 to 3 hours that I've had it on, which is kind of a bummer, which is why I tend to not reach for it. And with this one, I don't ever reach for it because the colors just don't suit me that well. Like, this one I like the most because it's like that shifty shade. It's like greeny purple-y. It actually quite reminds me of a Cleona circle shade that I have. I think that's called Toadstool, which I think is an apt name because it's like froggy, like greeny, but then watery with the shift. But apart from this one, like the other 3 shades I just don't get use out of, so I never reach for it. Both of these I kind of regret purchasing. Alright, now those are all of the Pat McGrath palettes that I have that are not Mothership palettes. I don't know if this one really had much of a point, except to maybe caution you against buying the holiday palettes unless like all of the colors scream to you, you know? I wish I would have thought more about it before I bought them and not let the FOMO aspect of it influence my purchasing. Let this be a cautionary tale to you, I guess. Thanks for watching and listening to me ramble about these. If you like this sort of stuff, then I hope you will consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.